my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, Feel Good family. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, this morning, we are shining a light on a remarkable initiative empowering women in business. The 5th annual EmpowerHER Seminar and Business Awards, powered by the Nomzamo Lighthouse Foundation. The event celebrates and invests in women who are reshaping industries and communities across South Africa. Since its launch, EmpowerHER has honored 40 trailblazing women, and this year, 10 more will join that legacy. Joining us to share more about this inspiring movement is entrepreneur, executive and career coach, philanthropist and international speaker, Dr. Vumile Msweli. Yes, my love. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Anne?
I'm so good. So excited to speak to you. You have had a remarkable career that we've had the pleasure of watching, from contact center to being an executive to founding HER Consulting. How has this journey been for you?
I think it's been one full of surprises. You know, obviously, starting at the call center, obviously, young people tend to think that is not where you start with a degree in accounting.
Yes.
But the ability to pivot has been very, very imperative in my ability to grow my business. And I think going from being a call center agent, becoming an executive by the time I was 24,
Crazy.
and then retiring from corporate at 30 to start my own business, to now retiring from the business to start and focus on the foundation.
Oh, my word. I love to see it. You are such a role model for me. This is so exciting. Please, can you tell me, what do you think is that one factor that really makes a difference with accelerating your career, specifically talking about women as well?
I think it's 3 things for me. Mentorship is absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Having people who can show you and pave the way for you is very, very important. I think the second thing is having sponsors.
Yeah.
You can be the best at what you do, but if you don't have someone creating opportunities for you, it means nothing.
Yes.
And I think the third thing for me that's been absolutely imperative is coaching. You know, having people take the time out to show you the best practice globally has fundamentally shifted my career.
I love that so much, because it's really centered around a community coming up as well, not just yourself. And we don't hear that a lot. And now I'm sure you know more than anybody that coming up as a woman is extremely difficult, especially as an African woman, to thrive in these spaces. Why do you think that is? What do you think is the biggest barrier that's preventing Black women from thriving?
So that's a very interesting question, because if we look at the continent of Africa, we're sitting now by the year 2030 with the youngest population and the largest population, more Africans in Africa than Indians in India or Chinese in China. But even if we look at the stats, we have the highest amount of female entrepreneurs.
Yes.
But if we look in the context of South Africa, less than 3% of us are CEOs.
That's a shocking difference.
It's a massive, massive difference. So what is the difference between males and females?
Yeah.
One is access. I think that's a big one.
Yes.
And the second is sponsorship. I know I went to St. Mary's, and if you look at my counterparts who went to Michael House or Hilton, the old boys are always getting together. The old boys can phone each other after 10 years and say, listen, I need an opportunity, and a door will be created for them.
Yes.
So I think the lack of sponsorship for African females is the #1 challenge. The second challenge, I think, is specifically, you know, I've had the pleasure of building businesses in Nigeria, Botswana, Rwanda, and Kenya, as well as the US. But the one common thing I find a bit of a challenge is, as African females, we have this almost apologetic approach to our careers. So the challenge there is, if you are not going to advocate for yourself, how do you expect someone else to advocate for you? And we're very, very humble, right? We're like, oh no, I'll just work hard, but work. And that's not the reality. If you don't advocate for yourself, no one's going to advocate for you.
Oh,
And that's exactly the challenge. If you do not speak up for yourself, no one's going to create the opportunities. And we've been taught that hard work is enough. If you work hard, they'll notice you. They won't notice you.
Yes.
Because if hard work was what was required, every woman in Africa would be a billionaire.
absolutely.
But hard work doesn't suffice. It's a hygiene factor. It's what brings you to the table. It doesn't mean you are going to be invited to the table to then take up space.
Yes, I love that so much, and I agree with those sentiments as well with what you're saying, because I find a lot of people in different spaces are very educated. They've done the hard work, like you said, but when it comes to sitting in the boardrooms, you're timid and you're sitting in silence. What tools do you think then that women can use to put themselves in the forefront to say, I'm here and I'm here to take up space?
So one of the things I like to tell my coachees is something I call a humble brag.
Explain a humble brag.
So often it's almost seen as arrogant if you say, listen, I've done an incredible job.
I'm good at what I do.
I'm good at what I do. Like I said with confidence that I am the #1 career coach on the continent of Africa.
Yes.
But when people say, they're like, yo,
Jani.
was white, right? So for me, a humble brag is not taking the credit for yourself, but really highlighting what your team has done.
Yeah.
So when you are at the water cooler, when you are in the boardroom, you say, oh my goodness, so proud of the team. We've been able to close A, B, C, D deals. So what that implies is that your team is doing well. And if you're the lead of the team, you are doing well.
Ooh.
So if you feel uncomfortable saying I, then say we. And then say, leading this team has been such a privilege. They have, we have.
Oh.
So that's the easy way to highlight the good work you're doing while still not feeling arrogant. And I think the more you practice that, the more confident you're going to become in then saying, I have done that.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to start practicing it as well. Now, let's move on to Empower Her that's happening this year in 2025. Now, the theme is the boldest strokes of color. How are you hoping to embody this as somebody sitting in the panel?
So I'm very excited about the panel because we're going to be talking about sponsorship versus mentorship. And I think the boldness comes in creating relationships that are mentorship relationships, and in creating enough evidence, a body of evidence that can allow someone to use their social capital on you by sponsoring you.
Beautiful.
So I think that's very, very important for us to be bold in asking for what it is that we want, but also bold enough to cultivate relationships that can catapult our careers.
Emphasis on relationships. You are really dropping gems today. Now, the event itself is about empowering women, creating space for them as well. What is the main key messaging that you're trying to get across for the country?
I think the #1 message for me is realizing that no one is coming. No one is coming, you're it. And if you're it, how do you start showing up as your own Calvary, as your own person who can rescue you? For you to realize that you're the CEO of your life, but also you're the CEO of your career. And as such, you need to have a strategy, you need to have tactics, you need to have relationships that can ensure you're able to navigate the world of work, be that in your career, be that in corporate, or be that as an entrepreneur.
I love that. That's so beautiful. Now, you're obviously going to be a panelist, which means I'm sure you have a lot to say. Which topic are you most excited to talk about?
That's a good question. I think as a coach, I generally listen more than I talk. So I'm excited to hear other panels. Of course, in our panel with Mr. Tebe Kalefeng, who a lot of us know as the godfather of branding.
Absolutely.
I've had the privilege of hearing him at the Africa Career Summit. But I am so excited to hear him take branding, not from a corporate perspective, but into the personal space and how people can brand themselves. So even though I'll be speaking, I'm really looking forward to hearing from him.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Msweli. You were absolutely phenomenal. We'll see you this Saturday.
This Saturday, we can get your tickets at Web Ticket for 950 rands.
Thank you so much. We have so much more in store for you. The show does not end. See you after these.